Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at ICP, seeing what's going on. 750 is the price point for this coin, and it did not perform overly well with Bitcoin pulling back the way that it did, or more so ripping up to 63,000. A lot of coins did better, so we just kind of want to pay attention to that. However, the inverse here is also interesting, where ICP is responding better to the Bitcoin pullback. So it's interesting how this is working out. We got somewhat of a double top. There's a potential head and shoulders pattern. There's a lot of different iterations of patterns we could look at, but the truth is we want to look at everything first and understand the big picture kind of going into this, right? So hopefully you can learn something today. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link down below. To our newer traders, I highly recommend you watch or go through, watch my university videos, of course. Read through our signals guide so you know how the signals work, because when it comes to these kind of trades, for example, like Cardano, Solana, Matic, you need to recognize that these are day trades. These are going to be quick and these are going to be fast, and they're not trades you're going to want to hold on to for very long. So 6 hours, 8 hours, 1 hour. Again, all this profit was secured earlier today with a nice pullback there. My bots were able to catch that. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there because there's a lot of new traders that come over, and if you don't read my signals guide, you're going to be kind of left out in the rain, kind of wondering why the heck everyone else is profiting and maybe you aren't. Okay. Anyways, just some heads up on that. Also, if you're new to trading, don't try to day trade and swing trade at the same time. It never works. Never turn a day trade into a swing trade. There's that too. All things I teach in my university, so make sure you watch those videos. Okay. We talked about this yesterday, and it just intensifies every time ICP it starts getting range bound, and we get this really heavy concentration above and below the price action. We do have this $8 mark that's been there for a little while, maybe about 100 to 200 million, between $8 to $8.50. So there's a big range there just above us of liquidation. Okay, and while there is more below us too, I think the likelihood of seeing $8 first is higher than seeing the low $6 range. Again, we're closer to that level. That's part of the takeaway here. If we do zoom out, though, you got to recognize there's a moderate amount of liquidation again at that low $6 mark, so we cannot be blind to the fact that $6 is a heavy liquidation area. And again, it's just below the local low, essentially, where we saw this nasty candle wick down to 625. Okay, so where are we at right now on the chart? So let's look at the daily and work our way down and kind of see what's going on. As per usual, any good trader will look at more than one time frame to identify overall trends, right? So again, you kind of just make an informed decision / big picture understanding what's going on. It really helps. First things first, we got this fair value gap here between 8 and 825 that reinforces the fact that we'll probably see that level get swept here in the relative near future, pending Bitcoin doesn't drop to 55, 57,000, which is still a possibility. We should see ICP perform well and continue higher up. Okay, so I'll update this trend line here in a minute on the smaller time frame. Let's look at the moving averages and kind of just verify they're all above the price action, so that's generally bearish. We got this resistance range here starting to accumulate a lot of moving averages at 840. So 840, we talked about that previously, still a resistance level for us. Nothing we really want to talk about, but nothing we want to try to trade into, if you will. Now you can take a long to that level, don't get me wrong, but if you're going to try to go ICP to the moon, I'm sorry, that's just not a thing right now. Okay, if you're watching other people who say that it is, they probably shouldn't watch them because they sound like babbling idiots. But again, that's just me personally. I like to be more logical and precise as a trader. I don't like to go at these hypothetical, significantly theoretical situations based on fundamentals, which is still relevant. Don't get me wrong, fundamentals are beneficial, but they're only part of trading. It's like a small part of trading. Okay, all that being said, we can see 30 on the RSI holding. We're below 50. We're generally bearish here on this coin. Nothing fantastic here. In fact, money flow index pulling back again. We're starting to see that average amount of exit or liquidity, so to speak, and it's just not favorable. So the daily time frame, there's no other way around it. It's not good, but the contrary here is as this 4-hour time frame is looking decent. And let me explain what I mean by that here. First of all, if we look at the RSI, we're below 50 on the RSI. That's not generally a great sign, but we've been above and below for a little while. Usually when that happens, it essentially implies that we are range bound, which we can see a pretty obvious range here. So we look at this guy, range bound between $7 even and $7.70. Those are easy numbers to remember. So we're essentially stuck in this range right now. So a break above or break below would essentially determine a continuation in most cases. So we're right on the precipice here. If we look at this, hypothetically, we break to the upside. This is again my playout chart from yesterday. Let me go ahead and pull that. We can see here that generally speaking, if we were to break above this level, we'll likely see the price pull back, consolidate here, and take off from there. That's mostly how breakouts are supposed to work. The reason why that would happen is because we're breaking above this descending trend line, which is concurrent with the 50-day SMA. We're also breaking through our more local and recent resistance range at 770. So we'd likely, if we break above, just say we close at 770 or higher, we're probably going to make a rally to like that 830, 840 range. That would make sense, okay? Those are things I'm going to be looking for. So me personally, I'm just going to go ahead and set an alert just above 770, get notified, see if it might be worth taking along at that point. Now, and again, a lot of people are trying to think out loud. They're probably scratching their head right now, like, wait a minute. Why would I want to take a long at 770 when I could take a long at 745? The truth is we don't know it's even going to get there. It'll probably reject out of that range and continue lower. However, if the market looks decent, Bitcoin stable at 60, 61,000, and ICP keeps treading, no longer treads water and continues to break that resistance, that's when we take a trade because we know that the trade is going the direction we want it to go, okay? It's not, essentially trying to, swim upstream, so to speak. It's much easier to take a trade once it's broken through those levels. All that being said, the hourly, still again, reinforcing this resistance range here and support range here. Let's go ahead and double check the Ichimoku Cloud. This does contribute positively here as well for us as far as that's concerned. What I mean by that is when you look at the cloud, first of all, we were above the cloud. So hypothetically, we should see a bounce here. This is a generally good sign. However, the disadvantageous side is that we have the point of control here, the local amount of volume at 750, reinforcing that resistance range. Okay, we can also see too the conversion line and baseline just crossed, and the lagging span is not free and clear of the price action. So this is basically just like 0 out of 3 reasons to take a short position, 0 out of 3 reasons to take a long position, or maybe 1 out of 3, I guess you could say. Again, you go with statistics, right? Everything we've seen here so far is fair to middling. There's good and bad all together. You want to generally pick a racehorse, for example, that has good qualities, right? ICP is not a racehorse right now. It's kind of like one of those, it's a benched player on a team that just has a bad elbow or something, right? Again, analogies are not my thing. You probably know this by now if you've been watching me for a while. But whatever analogy you want to insert here is essentially the same as just, taking a trade with high risk. Again, taking a long right now or a short doesn't make a ton of sense. The best strategy right now when you're range bound is to short to this lower level at $7 and to take a long at $7 up to $7.70. If and when it breaks those ranges, we consider a long or a short at that time. That's generally the concept. So again, hate to break it to you folks, there's nothing phenomenal about this chart here. I would say we're at 51, 52% likely to go up than down, right? Is that a statistic that you want to go with? I don't. Okay, anyways, just a heads up on that. That's kind of where we're at. I hope that you found benefit here, of course, and if you feel sad and depressed that you wasted the last 6 minutes of your life learning nothing, then you probably aren't good for trading because I try to make sure that everybody learns the best I can because these things here, that you're never going to find a perfect trade. Like literally, I'll analyze 10, 20, even 30 charts in a day sometimes, and I might find one or good opportunities. 1 or 2, maybe most. So just some friendly advice. Don't force trades. Look for reasons not to take a trade. This is a reason not to take a trade. Okay, simple as that. All right, I'll go and post our playout chart on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord as potential hypothetical scenarios here for you. If you're not familiar, they look a little something like this, and I usually provide liquidation levels too. Thanks again so much for watching, folks. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.